day 78. This is day 2 of being, out at sea, moving. Really, full day is day 1. Yesterday we left, okay? We left yesterday morning, I think. Yeah, we left yesterday morning, so today makes for 1 full day out at sea. I've spoke here and there about the watches here being, we do a European watch here instead of the standard watch, which is 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, and then 8 hours off to sleep. Here, it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Now, that could be, that's 12 hours, 4 hours of that 12 is your overtime, obviously. So for here, my watch, I wake up at midnight, or I wake up at 11 p.m. to relieve the other AB. I relieve him at 11:45, and then I stand on the bridge for my watch from 11:45 until 5:45. A full 6 hours of just standing on the bridge. Luckily, I got a cool mate. He plays some music up there. I've been with a second mate before who, it was weird because he wouldn't play any music until maybe the last 30 minutes to an hour. But he'd want to either sit in silence or he would just talk and 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 talk. And that was cool too. I mean, it kept the time going. I just asked him some questions here and there, but he wasn't the best conversationalist because he'd be talking and talking and talking, and then he'd pause, and so I'd ask him a question, but instead of answering, it would bring him back into the conversation, and he'd just keep talking and talking and talking, but he wouldn't answer the question that I had. It was kind of weird. But he was an alright guy. He just, I don't know, this second mate's pretty cool though. Done a bunch of traveling, talked about all his traveling he did. Listen to music. But it can be very slow being up there for 6 hours straight. You find yourself looking at your watch or looking at the time, and time never seems to go anywhere until you're finally there. I drank, basically, I make my coffee press. I'm gonna do a review on that coffee press, because that thing's the bee's knees. It's actually my second one, because I accidentally broke the first one. But it's a Stanley coffee press, and it's basically, I fill it up, I think it takes about 1 liter of water. It's 1 liter, but I fill it up, I coffee press it, I fill up a cup, and then I top off the press again to make a full liter. So I had 2 liters of coffee, 3 liters of water in my 6-hour watch. I'll tell you what, I was going to the bathroom every 30 minutes. It was pretty much my watch. Then I got, when I got relieved, I do, my overtime starts at 6 a.m. and goes till 10, it starts at 6 a.m. and I do sanitary, I help the other guys clean in the house till about 7:30. I do my breakfast for 30 minutes, and then at 8 a.m. I go out and work on deck till about 9:15. And then 9:15, they allow me some time to come in, clean myself off, shower up, change my clothes before I go back up to the bridge and relieve the guy at 9:45 for my last 2 hours of my watch. And that last 2 hours goes by like nothing. It's pretty cool. That's why yesterday, I don't really count yesterday as being at sea, because by the time I got up there, I relieved Josh at 9:45. I had to steer for an hour through the shipping lane, the shipping lane channel. Then, you know, by the time we got out, we weren't even fully out in the open water yet, and it was time for me to get off. So I didn't count yesterday. That's all I got for today. Tell you what, if you guys, there's one thing about being a merchant mariner. A lot of guys quit out, and it's a lot of younger guys. I think they say only like 60% of guys, 60% of like Piney Point guys wind up dropping out after 2 years of having their credentials, because as soon as they get out here, they might do a trip, 2 trips, go into the next year, and decide they don't like it. It's like that with, a lot of careers. You're never gonna know if you like a career until you get into it, and this is one of those careers that you will not know until you actually get out on a ship. I've had time, traveling around a little bit, just a little bit, not a whole lot. But it's actually, coming here is really nice because this ship ends up being anchored a lot and sitting a lot and not actually moving around too much anymore, and that's actually a positive. It can be boring, but I have internet the majority of the time. For ships that are constantly doing long distance trips and you lose internet, you get away from society almost, and that can actually be kind of hard, especially right now with this whole coronavirus thing. We're basically missing 4 days of news, which is a lot of news during this pandemic that's going on. So it's a change in lifestyle, especially if you you're in. Did you know millennials, if you look it up, the millennial generation is people born from 1981 to 1996. Yeah, so anybody that was born from 81 to 96, you're a millennial. I'm a millennial, but there's a couple guys on here that were born in the 80s, and they are not happy about being called millennials. But yeah, look it up. You're a millennial. So especially this millennial generation that has, you really think about it, like the people that have been born in the 80s, when they got to the 90s, that was like their teen years. So yeah, you're a 90s kid. People that were born in the 90s, I was born in the 90s, but I don't know, I wasn't in that boom of technology in the 90s. I wasn't there until the 2000s, and that's when more technology was booming. The boom in technology was like mid to late 90s to early 2000s. So if you're born in 81, you're a millennial. But anyways, for this generation, and I think Generation Z, I think the millennial generation is actually Generation Y. So Generation Y and Z, these groups that have been born into the social media era, I think it's going to be a whole lot harder for people this age, around this age, to get more of the tail end of the millennials born in the 90s, and then also Generation Z, which is 96 up. I think it's going to be hard for these social media generations to get more comfortable with being out at sea and being away from internet and being away from being able to just constantly talk to people. I know I definitely struggle a little bit just not being able to talk to Charmaine every day. And that's, you know, I've talked to you guys about that. There's like a point where it seems like it can be unhealthy, but to me it's not. But to other people, they say, yeah, it can be unhealthy not talking too much. But me and Charmaine have been working it out ever since ever. But we have had these trips where, I've had to go times without talking to her, and we get along with it. She's a trooper. But I think it's going to be much harder for the next generations to come. The generations that are, even deeper into social media than I am and my lady is, because we're not really big in social media. I do YouTube, but we're not like stuck on our phones like a lot of people are. And I think the people that are really stuck on their phones, I think it's like we're getting there on time. I try not to go too far over with these log entries, but even though I know none of us have service here, like right now there's no service, there's no internet, there's no Wi-Fi, and yet I still see some millennials walking around staring at their phones, checking their phones. And I think, like, there's no service, there's no Wi-Fi. What is it that you're doing on your phone? You don't have headphones in, you're not listening to music, you're not listening to a podcast. And then I see, you catch a glimpse and just scrolling back and forth through nothing. Scrolling through photos, scrolling through, your home pages. And it's like, it's just to keep you, entertained staring at a screen. But some people I don't think are going to be able, when you guys come out here and become merchant mariners, I don't think you guys will be able to cope with not having that entertainment. I can't say you guys, I'm just saying, in general, I think there's going to be a large number, a decline in merchant mariners as these years go on, because of these social media generations that can't go longer than 5 minutes without staring at a phone. Well, that turned into a rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please check out my website. Yeah, check out my website. It's Northwest Sailor. Hit that subscribe button. Click the like button. Comment, question. Troll down there if you want to troll. Whatever. I'm in for any of it. Just if you're gonna troll, at least hit the like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. I'm out.